Hey, what's going on, y'all? Jay from JSFILMZ. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at NVIDIA RTXDI once again in the Unreal Engine 5.1 NVIDIA branch. Now, if you haven't seen my previous videos about this, go ahead and check it out. Put the link in the description below. Additionally, I did create a cyberpunk short film using this technology because it helped me out tremendously. And I know I sound like a broken record when I say this, but I think if and when RTXDI is fully developed and implemented somehow, it's going to change the game, pun intended. All right, so here we are in the editor. So I'm gonna go to plugins. Right now, it doesn't come in its own plugins, actually packaged with NRD, NVIDIA Real-Time Denoiser. So go ahead and enable that. And again, this is not a plugin available right now in the marketplace because this is being developed still. But if you wanna play around with it, I will put the link in the description so you can go ahead and play around with it yourself. All right. So again, this environment right here I got from the marketplace, and I pretty much just changed the lighting a little bit, made it a little bit more darker. And every single lights in this scene right now are all movable light. And what I'll do is I'll turn on the show FPS so you can kind of see. We're running this at Epic right now, Epic settings. Okay, so before I get started, just a disclaimer, do not try this at home. I don't want you to fry your computer because you could potentially fry it, okay? This is very irresponsible for me to do this right now. But at the same time, I want to show you this technology in a pretty extreme example so you can see the potential of it. All right, so what I will do is I'm going to grab this pink light right here, and I'm going to click that real quick, and I'm going to duplicate that by just holding Alt. And I'm going to place it right here in the scene. Okay, and what I will do is I'll duplicate them. So I'll make a couple of copies. And just a reminder, these are all movable lights. They're all shadow casting lights. So I'll make copies of that. 5, 6, 7. All right, so you can see our FPS is dropping because look at this. We have about an attenuation radius of 450. And I'm slowing down in my editor right now. So I'm going to hold shift, and you're going to see how insane this is. Again, this is very, very extreme example. Look at all of these overlapping movable lights in the scene. Okay. What's that? 7? Let's just make this 8. I don't like odd numbers. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're going to see my FPS is now at 30-ish frames per second. Well, this is JSFILMZ. I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to duplicate that light. Again, don't try this at home. And you're going to see our FPS tanked. That's because we have 16 movable lights in a small freaking radius in an area. This is unreal. This is obviously extreme scenarios. Now, what I'll do is I'll go to Stat GPU and take a look. Our lights are using 70 ms. And our total ms is at like 70, 80, 90-ish. Insane, okay? So now what I'm going to do is enable RTXDI. I'm going to disable Stat GPU so we can see the scene. All right, and I'm going to press G to hide those icons so you can see the lights. Freaking 16 movable lights just blasting in our scene right here. And to enable RTXDI, you just type in sampled lighting, or it's going to be r.raytracing.sampled lighting. And I'm going to enable that. I'm going to put it to 1. Okay, so I'm going to press enter. And now you're going to see our FPS jumps to 86 frames per second. And we're going to go to my stat GPU, and you're going to see that our lights are now only using 4 point something ms. Now I can move in the editor. Now I can place lights where I want it to be. Now I'm saying this is going to be a game changer because in video games, they usually bake lighting, right? For performance cost. There's no way you can stack 16 movable lights in this small area in a video game. That would be so dumb for you to do because it's just so heavy. But what RTXDI is going to let you do is use a lot more movable lights in your scene or cinematics. It helps you move around in here in your editor versus me going in here in 8 frames per second, I can move around in here at 83 or 90 frames per second with 16 lights stacked like that. And what's crazy is this technology right here is just going to improve. They're still developing this. So with that being said, watch out for the Cyberpunk Overdrive update that's coming out soon, because I was told that that's going to be using some form of RTXDI, and that's brilliant. Cyberpunk genre would benefit with this technology because of all the lights you can have in your game. Additionally, games like Callisto Protocol, if you have small tight spaces, would also benefit with RTXDI because you can have a lot more lights in your scene that are shadow casting. Now, I was actually reading some behind the scenes about that game, and one of the things that they ran into whenever developing it in Unreal Engine 4 was they were very limited as far as how many movable lights they can have in that game. And they actually had Epic, do some magic behind the scenes to allow them to use a lot more movable lights in Callisto Protocol. And now, again, if this gets developed fully somehow, games like Callisto Protocol, games like Resident Evil, all of these freaking games would benefit from this technology. Now, again, if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to this kind of things. But when I saw the RTXDI video last year, I originally said BS. I called BS on it. But what I do is I test everything myself. So what I did was I downloaded this from GitHub and started playing around with it and actually made a Cyberpunk short film to really just battle test it. Can it help me when making a short film? And it absolutely did. But with that being said, take my word with a grain of salt and go try this for yourself. And you're going to see right away why this right here is going to be a game changer. Okay, so that's all I got for y'all today. If you have any questions, let me know. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.